Seldom are decisions made that drive a profound change in the trajectory, both internal and external, of a nation's history. India's contemporary history too witnessed such a decision. In a very short and indeed dramatic announcement on 11th May 1998, India said that it had conducted 3 nuclear tests at the Pokhran test range. Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching the special presentation of Sunset TV on Pokhran 2 with your host Kriti Mishra. Get ready for the speed ride and let me take you back in time when the then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee surprised most Indians to begin with and the global capitals big and small.
On May 11, 1998, 5 atomic tests propelled India into a group of nations with nuclear capabilities, achieving self-reliance in developing nuclear technology. "26 years ago, between 11th and 13th May, India scripted history when it conducted a series of underground nuclear tests with 5 bombs in Pokhran. At 3:45 p.m. on 11th May, the tests were initiated under the assigned code name Operation Shakti, with the detonation of 1 fusion and 2 fission bombs. The Shakti series of tests came to be popularly known as the Pokhran 2 tests, as they came after the 1974 single nuclear test, also in Pokhran. Speaking a couple of weeks later in Parliament, the then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee said, and I quote, "India is now a nuclear weapon state. This is a reality that cannot be denied. It is not a conferment that we seek, nor is it a status for others to grant," unquote.
मुझे आश्चर्य है कि परमाणु परीक्षण की भी आलोचना की गई। पूछा गया देश के सामने कौन सा खतरा था। मैं 1974 में सदन में था, जब श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी के नेतृत्व में परमाणु परीक्षण किया गया था। हमने उसका स्वागत किया था, प्रतिपक्ष में थे फिर भी स्वागत किया था, क्योंकि देश की रक्षा के लिए वो किया गया था। उस समय कौन सा खतरा था? क्या आत्मरक्षा की तैयारी तभी होगी जब खतरा होगा? अगर तैयारी पहले से हो तो जो खतरा अगर आने वाला है तो खतरा भी दूर हो जाएगा। खतरा अमल में नहीं आएगा। और इसीलिए हमने परमाणु परीक्षण करने का फैसला किया। हमारे कार्यक्रम का अंग है, उसमें लिखा हुआ है। कोई छुपी हुई बात नहीं थी, कोई रहस्य नहीं था।
India conducted its low nuclear test in 1974. But after that single test, India took the path of what is dubbed as non-weaponized deterrence. But in the 1990s, pressure on India to test came from 3 specific dimensions. The first dimension of pressure was from India's neighboring rival state, Pakistan, and it's already possessed intelligence of ready-made nuclear weapons. West's push to close the path of nuclear weapon fabrication by extending the Non-Proliferation Treaty indefinitely to other countries made India rejig its nuclear dream. The third pressure point was from specific efforts to freeze, cap and roll back India and Pakistan's nuclear weapons capability.
1974, May 18th, we had done the first nuclear test, Smiling Buddha. That's primarily for proving the basic technologies, and we also can build such things, such technologies in the country, is what has been done. But that is not sufficient. If you have to build the devices, if you have to build the systems, a lot of technologies have to be developed. A lot of system developments have also had to be done, and with respect to size, whatnot, and very other things, and these have to be proved. And so, when the scientists have worked on it almost for 2 decades and developed all these things, that needs to be tested to prove what they have done it. And so, in 1998, the then Prime Minister Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji has taken a decision that yes, let us go ahead and do this test.
Unlike Pakistan's nuclear tests, which were conducted in granite mountains, India's tests could only be conducted in the open deserts of Thar, where the sparse population and lack of proximity to water supply would reduce any collateral damage. But the problem was that the preparations could be picked up by orbiting satellites. Using clever methods of deception to fool the satellites, the Indian Army, as well as the top scientists from the DRDO, clandestinely made preparations for the tests.
The preparation of India's effort to pursue its nuclear dream goes back to March 20, 1998. The Department of Atomic Energy Chairman R. Chidambaram and the then DRDO head, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, were called by the newly elected PM of India. PM Vajpayee gave the green signal to conduct the tests. On May 1st of the same year, nuclear devices were flown from Bhabha Atomic Research Centre, Mumbai to Jaisalmer Airport in Rajasthan. From Jaipur, 4 army trucks transported the devices and other equipment to a small city called Pokhran. The 58th Engineer Regiment of Indian Army was called for the task of maintaining the shafts in which the nuclear devices, 6 in total, would be tested. The commander of the 58th Engineers Regiment, Colonel Gopal Kaushik, supervised the preparations, and all the officers were ordered to maintain absolute secrecy. The shafts were dug out and all the members involved were asked to perform the assignment discreetly. Even the then DRDO head, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, would wear army greens during the visit to Pokhran. The army would return all the equipment used at night to its original place to give an impression to the ever-praying satellites that they were never moved. The people involved in the tests also used code names to counter the spying on communication lines.
There was a lot of pressure, geopolitical pressure. But he took a decision, India will go ahead with the test. To DRDO team and more importantly, Atomic Energy team. Okay, these two teams, they were myself and Dr. Chidambaram. We met him, he said go ahead for the nuclear tests. Vajpayee ji was responsible for transforming India a nuclear weapon state.
These tests were the culmination of committed team effort and backed by the development of necessary know-how and expertise over decades. Nuclear weapons development requires expertise in a range of disciplines, including explosive ballistics, shockwave physics, condensed matter physics, material sciences, nuclear and neutron physics, radiation matter interaction physics, advanced electronics, engineering, backed by production, fabrication, and processing technologies over a wide range. It requires complex computer simulation software development to enable accurate prediction of weapon yields. In each of these areas, we have some of the world's leading experts. In the field of shockwave physics, for example, we are one of the leading groups in the world in the area of equation of state at high pressures. The successful tests of nuclear devices demonstrated India's technological abilities, boosting the morale of the scientific community and strengthening the country's defense preparedness. However, the high cost of the nuclear program and sanctions imposed by other countries led to a strain on countries' finances, which had to be diverted towards the defense sector. India is now believed to have a comfortable stockpile, making it one of the world's top nuclear powers. In addition, these technologies and products had spin-off benefits for civilian applications, leading to the development of new industries in the domains of nuclear power, space technology, and high-performance computing. The Pokhran test displayed a significant role in India's pursuit of self-reliance in defense. In 2014, India launched Make in India initiative, with one of the primary objectives being upgrading its defense capabilities and reducing dependence on foreign technology. As a result, India has taken several steps to simplify the defense procurement process and reduce the time taken to obtain licenses, making it easier for foreign companies and Indian companies to set up manufacturing units. This has created significant opportunities for foreign investment in India's defense industry, leading to technology transfer and increased trade and investment while adding momentum to the defense sector upgradation that the Pokhran test started.
Despite threats of diplomatic coercion and active persuasion not to conduct nuclear tests, Indian policymakers stood their ground and made it come to fruition with Pokhran 2 tests. India's scientific and technological maturity over the years also brought self-sufficiency and a credible name among the group of civilian nuclear energy generators.
Over the decades, India has advocated for a peaceful use of nuclear energy to meet the increasing energy demands and fulfill other useful civilian purposes of the atom. In doing so, India has been open to getting assistance and expertise in constructing, setting up and maintaining of nuclear power plants from major players. The operationalization and maintenance of nuclear facilities and installations involve abiding by certain rules and regulations by forming safety and security protocols. India's responsibility burden comes more in the backdrop of its troubled neighborhood, where the probabilities of nuclear terrorism and illicit proliferation remain prospective but not off the list in nuclear threat mapping. India's nuclear competencies have also served as a deterrent against potential adversaries, strengthening the country's national security posture. Moreover, its nuclear weapons program enhanced India's strategic position, which has helped the nation safeguard its sovereignty and territorial integrity. While the Make in India initiative reflects India's commitment to self-reliance and developing its own technology, aiming to achieve long-term strategic and economic goals, the legacy of the Pokhran test is a testament to India's determination to become a significant player in the global arena. As India modernizes its defense capabilities and becomes self-reliant in defense manufacturing, it will likely attract more foreign investment and become a key player in global defense industry. India's responsible nuclear behavior, evident in its achievement of a responsible nuclear power after 26 years of Pokhran 2 nuclear tests, projects a journey about its developing role and status in international politics. Towards developing pillars of the stated responsible nuclear behavior, India has contributed positively to regional security and stability in the international nuclear order to make it a global, responsible nuclear order. This has legitimized India's image as a responsible nuclear power, despite being a non-signatory to a few major non-proliferation regimes. India's case of nuclear acquisition and its current status as nuclear armed state is marked by the presence of nuclear weapons, adding value to its comprehensive national power logic and hard strategy with a defined civilian-driven purpose agenda for the utility, primarily meant for deterrence and not war fighting.
आर्थिक प्रतिबंध हमें आगे बढ़ने से नहीं रोक सके। रक्षा संबंधी फैसले करने से हमें विरत नहीं कर सके। लेकिन परीक्षण के साथ हमने यह भी ऐलान किया कि हम परमाणु हथियारों का प्रयोग करने में पहल नहीं करेंगे। नो फर्स्ट यूज। हमने यह भी कहा कि जिनके पास परमाणु शस्त्र नहीं है, हम उनके विरुद्ध उनका उपयोग नहीं करेंगे।